Hey,
Oh,
that's funny.
that
It
was
says it
interesting.
says we're preparing to go live, but I know that always means that we're live. So so whatever is
Mine's,
happening.
I do see meeting is now streaming live on YouTube.
Yay, hi, there we are. I
At
see
least
us.
at least we can. Oh, I see it. No, I don't see it. Hold on
Oh
here.
gosh,
No,
there we
I
go.
see it on my screen. I just don't see it
You
on
do?
YouTube yet.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, perfect. Hi, everybody. Welcome into Energy Upgrade. This is a special energy upgrade and feng shui tips. I have with me here today Michelle and she is also a feng shui master. She's been practicing energy upgrades with me for, is it our 2-year anniversary-ish
I believe
that we've
so.
been doing that? Yeah.
We're getting
So
close. Probably maybe a few months away, but we're getting close.
yeah, we're getting close. I feel like we've been working together a long time. So Michelle has, she's trained with me within the Intrinsic School of Feng Shui. So she is well versed in BTB, Black Sect Tibetan Buddhist Feng Shui. And Michelle, I'll let you tell a little bit about your journey with what led you into studying Feng Shui, and then perhaps what intrigues you about delving deeper into this I Ching practice.
So I took my first, I'm a realtor by trade, been licensed a very long time, over 30 years, but um my first experience with feng shui was way back in 2006 when I actually took a continuing education class for realtors, how to feng shui your listings, and found it very interesting, but also realized a lot of that stuff I was already doing anyway. But it just solidified the fact that what I was doing really was making a difference. And so I incorporated that with my real estate and, did some feng shui practices on my and it was mostly, it wasn't the energetic part of it as far as like the intention setting and the dowsing and all that stuff, but it was flow of energy and making sure the elements were balanced, just basic stuff. And then out of the blue in 2022, I guess it was, I get an email from Steve Kodad, your partner at Intrinsic, just saying, hey, you might want to take this course to boost, your real estate business. It's a really great tool to add to it. And for some reason, I was like, yeah, I want to do that. Like I didn't even, like I read it and I got really excited. So I just kind of followed that impulse,
Yeah,
which I don't normally do. Usually I like overthink things and then don't, and then back out and don't do it. So but that one, I was just like, I'm going to do it. So next thing I knew, I was in St. Pete with you, taking the class, finished the course a couple months later, and just have been working with you and building my confidence and getting to understand all things feng shui. And I love your energy upgrades that we've been doing. I look forward to them. They make me feel so much better. Everything's more clearer. I feel like, I can take myself less seriously once I get off my energy call with you. And I've just found that I consult with I Ching quite a bit for everything, for myself, for other people. It's just amazing that something so old can still be so relevant today. You know what I mean? And so for me, that connection of the timelessness of it is pretty profound. And the more I do it, the more I am able to tap into like the deeper meanings of it. So like I love practicing it because I learn more and we can help people doing it.
I love that. Yeah, I like how you mentioned your background and story of working in real estate and in people's homes, and then realizing a lot of what you were doing was intuitively correct. Once you started learning the principles of feng shui, you were like, that's why
That's why I
I
do
do
that.
this. Yeah, that's why I feel called. And Steve, coming from a real estate background as well too, has a real knack for noticing stars out there that have that ability intuitively. So,
Mhm.
he's
I
kind
don't
of like
know. Yeah, I
a
don't know how he
seer.
noticed that about me, but I'm glad he did. And I think it was divine intervention. So
Yeah,
for
I do
sure.
too. I do too. And I think we instantly clicked when you came to St. Petersburg for that inaugural class was really cool. And it always feels like whoever comes together in the course classes, they have these connections, like these
Mm-hmm.
lifelong bonds or these similarities, even though they're from different parts of the country and the
Country.
world sometimes,
Yeah.
that you have these threads of likenesses that connect you to one another, so that you can learn from each other's backgrounds and perspectives. So the reason why I have Michele here today is because we've cooked up a little something and we're actually we're following our intentions for this year to add more joy and more fun and more playfulness and creativity into our day-to-day lives. So we're actually cooking up together a new YouTube channel, and it will be called Ching Mashup. So in this new channel, you guys are hearing it here first. I'm so grateful to have you in this community in the energy upgrade feng shui tips. And I really am grateful for you for sticking through this whole process as you've quite literally seen everything develop. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and your energy adds to the culmination of what we create, even in this virtual realm here, working through YouTube and video. It's just the same. And I think, Michele, you can maybe add to this too, but working in these virtual realms is very amplifying of our energy. So there's not a barrier per se, but everything is energy. So
Mm-hmm.
the energy
Everything,
that we're
everything.
exchanging with everybody that's interacting with us live, it's not an accident that you found our live video. So,
Great.
welcome to the first I Ching mashup.
Mashup.
Mashup. And so a little background on the I Ching mashup, and we'll give you a little bit of background too on the concepts of this, but I don't know if anyone out there loves to hear song mashups when DJs take a tune or a riff or a beat from one song, maybe it's from, another decade, and mashes it up with one that has a similar beat, tune, or frequency of a present time and or same era or whatever, mashes them up and creates a beautiful harmonic new song that's even more fun.
Danceable.
Danceable, and it has
Yeah.
layers and it's attracting. So that's the reason behind the name of I Ching Mashup. We want you to experience both of our energies, both of our unique perspectives, even though we're of similar school of thoughts and backgrounds. But you'll get a glimpse into what Michele and I do on our energy upgrade session, deep dives. Each and every time, we each set our intentions and then we divine of ancient I Ching. And as you know, sometimes you'll see us use coins when we're divining of the I Ching. I think today we're both using our deck of cards, right?
Yeah, let's just shuffle because we've been
Just
through a
gonna
lot
shuffle.
already.
Okay, just a little background. We had some technical glitches. Zoom and Facebook are not playing well together. So, and it's not even Mercury in retrograde, so we can't even blame it on that.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a painful, laughable
Mm-hmm. We tried
45
so
minutes.
hard. We
So
tried so.
hard.
You were so close. Actually, you got us streaming live. We just didn't know where the
We
hell
don't
we
know
were
where.
streaming live. We couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah, so apologies to anyone if I'm streaming somewhere into your group, but that's basically what happened. So now you get to experience us on YouTube, and that's great. We love to be in YouTube, and you never know where we'll end up. So today we're both divining of I Ching using our favorite deck of cards and our transcription by Paul O'Brien, a
Mm-hmm.
very modern version. We love it because we like to use card decks. If you're a fan of tarot, this is probably right up your alley. In terms of being able to look at the artwork is intuitive to go along with the energies of hexagram. So you'll get to experience that with us today. And maybe in the future we'll use coins when we're not as taxed.
Right.
So we're
Yes.
choosing to hitch our wagon to the easy path right now. And by the way, if you are commenting, I wish I could figure out how to see if you're commenting, but say hello, share this channel right now with a friend to stay in tune. I'll be sure to let you know where Eating Mashup with us lives on, so you can join us there. We'll be doing, I think we're planning on doing weekly sessions of this is the goal.
That is the goal.
Yeah, so I think that will be, we'll see how we feel about that. But super excited about it. So Michele,
Yes.
within the High Vibe Entrepreneurial Women Facebook group, we put this message out there. What is going on in the collective?
Mm-hmm.
What is everybody experiencing? And what did you see within the group in terms of responses?
There was, let me get back there real quick, because there was, I believe, one comment, and let me find it real quick here. Hold on.
Yeah, it was a good one.
She said, yeah, she said, oh my gosh, it went away. Hold on. Here it is. Existential angst. This is from Jill Rice. She
Yeah.
says, I've talked to several friends in the past few weeks who are feeling the collective anxiety for everything that is happening in our country and on our planet. Peace, we need peace. And when I saw that, I think I told you, I said, that's amazing that she said that, because just last night I was thinking, like, what, why do I feel like literally like just full of like angst and ire, and like and I couldn't explain
Yeah.
why. My life, personally, my life is pretty damn good right now. I got a grandson coming in a couple of days. I got another son getting married. You know, I'm in a great relationship. Like, my life is pretty stable, but yet I'm feeling like so unstable. And I realized, like, that's not my energy. That's not what that's not what I'm feeling, is not necessarily genuinely mine. And then for her to post this today, like, that's just a perfect example of how energy doesn't need any time to travel. It's instant, and we all feel it. And some people feel it more than others. I understand that, but everybody can feel energy at some level.
Mhm.
And, like, I don't even know Jill Rice, but here we are feeling the exact same thing.
Yeah, you and Jill would get along really well, by the way. And Jill is very intuitive herself and a business owner here locally. Just brilliant. She's also an author, by the way. She's very, yeah, and a manifester, I believe, in terms of human design. She's a manifester.
Of course, if she does
She
all
does all,
that.
of course, yeah. So she's very, and being a store owner, she's really in tune with all the energies of people that are coming in and out around town. So I think she does also pick up a lot on what is that like collective thread that's happening. So I think there is a little bit of heaviness that needs to be resolved. And certainly that's something that we strive to do in feng shui and in energy work is to resolve those pools that we have in the
Mm-hmm.
best way that we can. Energy is transmutable and it is able to be directed. So let's keep that in mind as we're divining and set our intentions. I'll start off the intention this time, and then Michele, you can like tweak it or use it
Okay.
in this mashup. So let's divine of the ancient I Ching. What is the energy around the collective at this time as they are watching and finding this video in any timeline, today, past, present, future, live with us. So what is the energy around those finding our mashup, or I Ching mashup, and what can they look to do moving forward to help them on their path, for more clarity and ease and joy towards their intended, um, towards their intention. So whatever it is that they desire.
Um, yes. And then I think it might be good to add on there too. Okay, what is the energy around the collective as they watch this video in any timeline? And what can they do moving forward to help them with on their path towards their intentions? Um, And I think we need to add something like on their intentions so they can stay focused on their intentions and not on this negative, angsty energy that's going around
Yeah,
in the world right
yeah.
now.
So how can they stay on path and transmute this energy into a positive one?
Right.
Okay, so everybody, if you see we're writing down our intentions, I encourage you to keep a journal as you're watching with us so you can reflect back on what hexagrams are resulting. And you can see if there's any recurring themes in your energy. We love to write in cursive, Michelle and I, because cursive allows you to integrate more areas and parts of your brain, helping you to embody your intentions on a deeper layer. So to write out your query that you're asking and keep on the top of the paper what your intentions are, what are your desires. Let's see, do quick mine. Okay. You need to pause the video and come back if this is the recording, do that. And we always encourage you to please be fully hydrated while we're exchanging this energy. We're made mostly of water, and water is a great conductor of energy. So we would love for you to stay well hydrated during these sessions, before, during, and after. And Michelle and I always light our candle with intention to
Mm-hmm.
connect with you and to serve you. So you may, and we invite you to light your candle if you wish on your end. So I'm going to ask, are you ready to divine of your I Ching?
All right. Are we shuffling now?
Yes, we're shuffling.
Okay, I'm
So
shuffling.
everyone, we're looking for two energies to pull: the present, what is the current energy around the collective at this time, and then what should we do
Whoa.
moving forward to
Okay.
transmute this energy into one that is positive, creating a life of abundance. Whoops.
I have two
Oh,
that popped out
sure.
like all at once.
One
So
came out. Okay, just 1 second. I'll be right back. Mine flew away. Okay. So the first energy popped out for me, and you got two right away. Did they
I
come out in
did. They
order?
both came out.
Okay, so I'm still looking for a second for
Take
mine.
your time.
Yeah, sometimes whoops, sometimes they're
Yep.
sticky, and
Yeah.
sometimes they're not.
Sometimes I have to shuffle for what seems
Oh
like a
my
long time.
gosh.
What'd
Mine
you
are
get?
so good. Mine are so good. Okay, everyone. So the energy I have around us at this time is careful affection.
Ah, I don't know which one of mine came out first, because they were stuck together. But I
Yeah.
think it was this one was first, which is retreat.
Ooh, yes, that makes sense. Okay, so
And I
mine
love that. That
is,
looks like a bed with clouds to me, or like a
it
long,
does.
like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
It's very
love that.
restful. What was your second one?
Um, okay, moving forward with the great clarity and ease, great abundance. Did we get the small
Mine says small
influences
influences.
and great abundance? Okay. They look similar though, the cards. I almost thought we had the same one. They're similar colors.
Mm-hmm.
Careful affection is my first one. It's hexagram number 54, thunder above and lake below. And you see it's kind of like a life path, the deep dark blues, a life path journey symbolism there, kind of stormy. So what I'm doing here is I'm just copying down the hexagram. And by the way, if you ever want to learn feng shui and use of the I Ching, you can contact Michelle and I. You can comment in the section below to connect with us right now, but we will be sharing more information with you. And then,
Um, Maybe they need to know what a hexagram is.
yeah, let's talk about it again. Refresher.
So
So a hexagram is a combination of two trigrams. Trigrams are what we work with. There you go. There's a good one. So it's a stacking of two trigrams together, creating 6 lines. Trigrams, the 3 lines, are connected to guas that we work with as feng shui professionals in a bagua energy map, and the 5 earthly elements. So as you've heard me talk about in other energy upgrade sessions, we're working with earth, we're working with metal, water, wood, and fire. So I think that was a 5. Did I say 5? Yeah.
Earth, water, wood, metal, and fire. Yep.
Perfect. So those are the trigrams. And then when you combine them together, it creates these unique energies that we're describing today. And the use of the I Ching is working with the ancient analysis, environmental science of how the elements of nature work together in the seasons. And it has been and evolved over time, found a correlation to how we interact not only with ourselves and the elements of the earth, but also within the divine, in often the seasons of our lives.
It
So
really, it's kind of like picks up on patterns of life.
yeah.
The energy of a pattern, whether it's the energy of needing to retreat or the energy to be busy and going out doing something, or the energy to not speak, or the energy to speak. It like picks up on those patterns. And like energy is like a pendulum. Like we want it to be balanced, because if we go too far one way, it's going to swing back. It's just how things work in this realm, I guess. You can't like be always up and positive all the time or always negative. Like eventually something will give and the energy will work itself out.
Yeah, what I love about feng shui and studying energy in this way is that what we practice, we believe and recognize this great duality and the interplay. And with the darkness, there is a light and the Tai Chi of all things. And so what's really beautiful is we're able to intertwine 9 life areas, um, uh, and these patterns that Michelle's talking about. They're like frequencies. And
Mhm.
as we talk about alignment, we're always looking to align around a hub or that pole or spine of holistic health and wellness. And so that's not just our body health, but also our mental mindset, our spirituality, and our connectedness with the heaven and the earth. So
Mhm.
as you look at a hexagram, we're looking at the divine or the heavens or universe energy, and then all the way to earth energy, interpersonal energy, and so on and so forth. So
Mhm.
these stories that we're going to tell you right now, and what's cool about us doing this together, is we're going to be drilling really deeply into this intention. So within careful affection, I'm just going to give you a brief overview of this energy, and you can let us know in the comments if this resonates. Yeah, I'm really excited to develop this channel too, by the way, because I think the feedback we receive from viewers is going to help us refine it even more.
Mhm.
But we'll be able to put out some helpful, content tips and resources for everyone based on what they're interested in. A lot of people are like, just do it for me, but some people want to learn for themselves.
Exactly.
So within the energy and what I'm pulling on, the energy around the collective currently right now, within careful affection, it tells the story of to overcome challenges and achieve longevity in any relationship, you need to remain mindful of extreme feelings of attraction as well as the transitory nature of most relationships. It is an irony of life that the happiest people are those who have what they want and who want what they have.
Mm.
What does yours say?
The retreat one.
Mm-hmm.
Retreat says, all worthy goals meet some resistance. When negative forces predominate, a well-timed retreat can be a good move for keeping your energy up and allowing you to persevere. Strategic retreat is not to be confused with escape or surrender. Nevertheless, a well-timed retreat may require quick and nimble movement in order to take up a new position before you are damaged by a current threat. You're not admitting defeat by such an action, but increasing your options by persevering your energy and other resources. Sometimes it's necessary to slow down, let go, or move back to a better position for future moves or to draw an opponent closer. Timing is
Ooh,
critical. Yeah, timing is critical, as is that reminds me of my cat and my dog, how they play.
yeah.
Because Richard, my cat,
I love
will he will he'll like be somewhere not quite where Kodak, my dog, can see
Yeah,
him or get to him. And then if Kodak, or I should say he'll like be a little too high where Kodak can't get to him, or under something where Kodak and they play. They're not antagonistic for him.
yeah.
And then as soon as Kodak decides, you know what, I'm just gonna give this a break, and he goes and lays down, then Rich will come right up to him and play. That's like pulling your opponent out, like what it just said. Um,
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, that's kind of
that's a
what
real life
mine is
example.
saying too. Yeah, that's a real life
Yes.
example of that interplay of energy. But mine is also backing up what you're saying. It says boldly asserting yourself right now could bring misfortune. Do not
Yep.
attempt to be overly creative or to attract much favorable attention. At the same time, allowing yourself to drift aimlessly could be a mistake. So find balance in the middle way.
Yeah. It says a skillful retreat is truly a sign of intelligence and strength. So if anybody out there feels like they need a skillful retreat, don't think you're lacking. It's what
Yeah,
you need
a
to
lot
do.
of people are taking silence retreats and
Mm-hmm.
like unplugging. I think that's really commendable that people are able to do that, especially if
Mm-hmm.
they're business owners, to be able to say, I'm unplugging and actually you're not going to be able to reach me and I can't reach anybody.
Yeah.
And take that time just to be quiet and even bored.
Yeah.
Especially if you're always in a position of needing to create and be overly stimulated. So I pulled that great the retreat card right before the pandemic hit
Oh my,
with one of the feng shui classes, and
that's a
we were
forced
like,
retreat.
yeah, it was, and the combination. I still have a picture of the energies that we pulled, but we were thinking, are we gonna have to are we gonna have to meditate a lot? And things are going to be very boring. And lo and behold, like the next day,
Mm-hmm.
we're all on lockdowns. We're like, this is not what we were thinking. Our minds couldn't even fathom that that was a potential.
Right.
But the combination of that energy is quite different than what we're seeing today. But I think in terms of what Jill is sharing with us in the high vibe group, is that everyone's feeling this heaviness and maybe allow yourself that time to recharge and to retreat and be really careful with your interactions with those that are close to you. Sometimes when we're feeling heavy, we can project a little bit of that onto the people around us.
A little
Um,
bit. I'm the worst
or
at
a
that.
lot. Yeah.
I'm the worst at that. That one of the things that I've come to realize is I just take myself way too seriously. To back up what you're
Yeah.
saying, this says periods of withdrawal or retreat call for cool headedness. So keep your wits about you. Attend to details while allowing for enough time to contemplate the big picture. Be creative in your solution. So it's not saying to just go be bored, or just do nothing.
Mhm.
To do it strategically. But I love when it's saying keep your wits about you. Like that's kind of like you got to be mindful of what is going on within yourself and with other people too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not all
So,
progress follows a straight line. I think that's important. And that's in here too, in mine, in
oh
retreat.
yeah, yeah.
I think that's important to remember too. Like,
Yeah, resting doesn't mean that you're necessarily going backwards.
right,
It it's it's with anything, the trajectory of even our health, or any, gains that you're trying to make in strength training, or if you're on a diet or a program like that, there's like, as you're going towards your goal, you're going to take little dips and setback, but that doesn't mean you're not going to get towards
Yeah.
that target.
Right.
So I think within both of ours, it's the careful affection, and within taking this retreat is making sure that we're taking care of ourselves so that we show up in our best way with those that we're interacting with and that are close with us, but to also be discerning about what we're doing and who is around us,
Right.
having that caution.
And we asked, what is the energy around the collective as they watch this video, like at this time with all the angst? We're specifically talking about that question that Jill asked.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's important to remember, if you do subscribe to the fact, I'm not going to say theory, I'm going to say fact, that energy is everywhere and everything and
Mhm.
instant, you realize the importance of keeping yourself balanced in the big picture. It's not only something you're doing for you, but because energy is constant and instant, the higher our vibration is, the higher our energy is, and our state of mind is. That that is translated out into the world, and it affects people you don't even realize you're affecting. And I sound like a stupid greeting card, but it's true. One person really can start a big ball of change, rolling down the mountain. So I sound like a hypocrite saying this because I just get like so wound up in my head sometimes, like too wound up. But then I always come down and I'm like, you know the rules, you know how it works. You can't absorb all the energy out there and expect to be high vibe.
Hmm.
Have to set up your
Yeah.
boundaries, and you have to do work on yourself, and then you just naturally affect everyone around you. I was listening to this podcast where I don't even remember which one it was on YouTube now, one of my spiritual podcasts, and they were saying 10% of the earth, the population of the earth, at the same time could get their energy high, like raise their vibration, it will
Yeah.
affect everybody. We
Yeah.
just we just can't get our shit together all at the same time.
That's part of our mission within the International Feng Shui Guild. When at the beginning of the year, we had our town hall within the whole community, and our theme was ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
So, if there's, 500 Feng Shui professionals across the world, and we're each doing or sharing our unique method and experience and getting the positivity out there, it snowballs with
Mm-hmm.
every little person close to us, and then it will reach far. So I think with everybody who's finding us today is a part of a ripple effect. So
True.
hopefully they're taking a part of whatever we're divining right now, and then paying it forward,
Mm-hmm.
or tracking it larger, and that will help to heal and alleviate a lot of this tension that I'm sure we're all picking up on, that's
Mm-hmm.
happening in Gaza, and all around the world, all of these
Yeah.
disturbances that are happening that we all just kind of
Ukraine, Gaza,
feel. Yes,
Haiti, it's happening everywhere. And
everywhere.
what's funny is I watch very little news. I
Hmm.
know the basics. I used to be a news junkie, and I had to stop being a news junkie because that's all you get like sucked into it. But I mean, I think you have to realize too that there's always been messed up stuff going on in the world. Like, this isn't new to the world. This is new to
Right.
us. It's not new to history. And I think, I don't know, that gives me a little bit of not comfort, but at least I know, like, all right, this isn't like, I don't think this is the end of times. I just don't. We've had
Right.
far
Well, it's
worse.
comforting to know that things are cyclical, and
Yes.
even
Patterns.
just the patterns. Yeah,
Back
and
to the patterns.
it's nice to and affirming when you're able to communicate with others about, like, oh, we're sharing the same experience, or at this time. It's very unifying.
Mm-hmm.
And we still have our personal um desires and goals that we are seeking to live out despite any of these waves that we're all riding. So it's, how do you chart your course and maintain your health and wellness and,
Mhm.
um, you know, along with everything that's going on, accepting that there's going to be negativity, but that doesn't mean you own it forever.
Right. Right. And it's a challenge. Like it's definitely a challenge. Okay, you're going to come to Earth at this time, and here's what's going to be going on, and your only job is to up level every chance you get.
Hmm.
That's a hard challenge.
You know
That's
what
a
I
great game
really
show.
like?
That's a great game show, if you ask me.
It is like being in a game show, or like a video game. But whenever I feel that like heaviness, my place like I feel best is like sometimes I just want to take a shower. Like it's not a
Oh
shower
yeah.
to get like clean with like soap and or anything, but just
Yep.
like to rinse it all off, like whatever it is like that lingers. Obviously you can cleanse and smoke as well too, or
Mhm.
essential oils or whatever. But I love the water, and I like to get into the water at the beach. I live nearby the beach. But
The
that
salt
really,
water.
the salt water is very, very healing and just like helps to cleanse of all that sticky, residue. But, it's not that I'm trying to ignore that anything negative is happening, but the same, I want to accept it. I want to work with it and transmute it into things like this, what we're doing. So,
Right.
I hope everyone, if you can resonate with having this careful affection energy around and the retreat and going within, I think that's what we're all experiencing. Looking forward, though, I think is pretty exciting. I know yours is a play on small influences, and then
Mm-hmm.
mine is talking about great abundance. What's interesting is going from careful affection to great abundance is only two change lines on the lower trigram. So we're only talking about making it, this is very stable energy. We're just on the cusp of great success. And that lines up with what we divined in the Conscious Collaboration podcast yesterday in our I Ching pool there too. It's like, everything is pointing towards great success and actualization, and you're not that far away. So you might feel kind of angsty right now, but don't give up at this point. Don't move back. So
Mm-hmm.
I think this next, what we're looking forward to help you stay on your path and to transmute this energy towards great abundance, it happens in the change line. So I'm gonna get a little insight here.
Which, if you don't know what a change line is, like if you can, we probably need to have better visuals someday when
Yeah, yeah, we'll
we're
show
famous.
indication. So that's a good
There.
visual.
Okay, so like see the broken lines like on the here, the bottom, the very
Yeah,
first line is solid, and on here, there it's broken. So this
right.
would be the first line on the bottom of mine cards would be a change line, and then up there, where's that two lines broken on the bottom? I can't
Yeah,
tell.
you have 1, 2, and 4 are change lines on yours.
Yeah, so this one would be one, like the lower ones are the earthly energy, and the top three are the heaven energy.
Heading towards the heavens.
Yes.
So just 3 out of the 6 and in Michelle's and 2 out of mine. So relatively stable energy, stay the course. Just some words of caution, and that's where when you see the change lines, it can give you some good insight and actions that you can take. And obviously, as we drill down from the collective to one-on-ones, you can even drill down further. But within change line 3, for me, it says strong desire for forbidden or unobtainable fruits does not lower the branches of the fruit-bearing tree. Still, there is not much blame in this. So there might be, as we talk about desires, and so there might be a lot of that happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so also changing is line 2 for me. A time of no advance is indicated by this line, but everything should turn out right in the end. So if you're feeling stuck, like I said, like on that, like cliff of like, I
Mhm.
just want to turn back. Don't stay the course of perseverance. You might feel lonely at this time. Just stay true to your own path. So
And a
check in.
retreat might help you.
A retreat will help you. Be patient and kind with yourself. And when the shine of your own light is true, others will naturally be attracted to it. So it does indicate you might, in the sea of all the people, feel very lonely. And certainly in talking about careful affection, are other people feeling the same way? But
Mhm.
really, as we always talk about the authenticity, and our friend Rachel Weaver, in working with human design, we're always looking to that way to find out what is your unique imprint, and
Mhm.
are you living to your life authenticity and path.
And
And
how to
so,
express yourself
right. And how do you
authentic,
voice that, right?
right? How do you express it?
Especially,
Because there's a
yeah,
different tone to every different type of
energy.
human design person. There's, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and it's hard to develop and break the mold of what we've been programmed to, um, how we've been programmed to live. It's, you know, it took me a long time to break out of corporate speak. So if anyone's familiar with corporate speak, they're like, to get that out of my system was really hard. And I
Mhm.
did have to work with Rachel for a long time to, like, that's not really who you are. Like, are you talking from your heart, or are you, trying to speak in a
Sound a
way,
certain way.
sound a certain way, yeah,
Yeah,
to create an image of more power or respect, or, so really just connecting back with that heart-centeredness is important. Um, how about the story of your change lines before we get into the resolving energy?
so the first one is in retreat, positioning is vitally important. Avoid being too visible, too close to the source of your opposition. If you do find yourself positioned in an opponent's sights, the best tactic may be to keep still, lie low, and wait for the moment to pass. Be extremely careful because any movement now could work to your opposition's advantage. And I don't think we necessarily need to just be talking about person here. This could be any, your opposition could be the media, or your opposition could be, yes, it could be a person, but it doesn't have to be necessarily a person. It could be whatever has you all balled up in a,
Ah,
yeah,
yeah,
in a
it could
bunch.
be just like, we don't talk about like bad luck, but we want to avoid misfortune, in terms of like bad choices we might make, or
Yeah,
the opposite of opportunities would be a threat. So in that sense, like a situation that would be more challenging for us, we don't want to attract that to us.
right. And here's a good example. So let's say you wake up and you're in a pretty decent mood, you're having a good day, but you see something on social media, or you see something in the media, you see that your mood is starting to kind of slip a little bit. The worst thing you could do is continue to watch the news. Turn it off and
Yeah.
take a retreat. Like,
Right.
like being visible to your opponent would be sitting in front of the TV screen, watching all the horror on TV,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
scrolling on social media, watching everybody's fake posts about how great everything is, or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you got to think more broad than like, we're not running from a person necessarily. We could be running from, hiding, retreating from anything to save
Yeah.
our own wellness. Yeah.
And that doesn't mean we're not saying like lock down and stay in your house and meditate. Or
No.
you could, I love to
Go read
take,
a book instead.
yeah, walks,
Go for a
read a
walk.
book. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're a creative person, like if you have a certain hobby, if you like, like painting or whatever, that's a good time to be like, all right, I gotta turn this off and go do something. Or as Abraham Hicks says, go take a nap.
Yeah.
Just go
Yeah.
take a nap.
No, that's hard to do. It's hard to give ourselves
Right.
permission to take a nap sometimes.
It is. But my line two says this changing line refers to a situation where someone of integrity is under attack or being vigorously pursued by an opposing force. In such a treacherous situation, movement in the face of danger is essential. Retreating when under attack rather than engaging in direct confrontation can also create the advantage of gaining sympathy for your cause. So that kind of goes in line with what we were just saying about go take a nap, do something else, get yourself away from whatever is turning you, like putting you in a tailspin. It's time to get away from that. Run as fast as you can to something that makes you feel.
Yeah, that reset.
Yeah.
Yeah, that goes really very well together.
Mhm.
So are there those were the three change lines that you had? Because you had three, right? Did you have four?
There's just
Line
two
four?
on retreat. There's one
Okay.
on my second one on small
Okay.
influences.
Yeah.
You want me to read that one?
Yeah.
Did we read these ones yet?
Did you do line four, three, and one? Was
I
that your
only
change?
have two on this one.
Oh,
Line one and two.
line one and two, but didn't you have
The other one was on this. There's only one on
okay.
that one. But have we even read these ones? Have I read small influences?
Yeah, so with the change line, you read the change lines on the all the change lines are read on the first energy.
Mm-hmm.
So the line four that goes like what does the line four say for your small influences?
Line four says, in a world of constant change, personal sincerity creates an inner core of consistency. By seeking truth from real evidence rather than self interest, one becomes a valued advisor to others. Sticking to the facts is like adding weight to the scales, a spoonful at a time. Eventually, significant weight comes to bear. In times of conflict, clear and objective insights count heavily, helping to avert violence and dispel fear. I think that kind of
Ooh,
just goes right
that
along with what we've been saying
that
this whole
we
time.
just said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So isn't that amazing how, like, I'm just always amazed at how these just tie together. First of all, our cards tie together. And
Yeah,
secondly,
our cards are good
my
layers
cards tie
together.
together. Yes, it's amazing. So,
Are good layers. I'm excited because there is that turning point. So if you're feeling lonely or stuck or you're about to like give up because you're fearful of things that are happening in the world or the situation or your own personal world, if you're sticking with it, the immediate future that we're looking at that I'm seeing, and we'll read into Michelle's layer of that too, is great abundance. So it talks about, and this is cool, abundance comes into full flower when a group is unified and the power of its leadership is at its peak. That's quite beautiful. So
that
as
is
we're talking,
absolutely.
yeah, like
Yeah.
unifying and being that ripple effect. So certainly anybody joining in on this energy in the channel, what I love about the virtual realm is the power of intention can multiply. So
Mhm.
the more energy, the better. You know, any of the comments that you can contribute, if you can share this with your friends that are experiencing the same thing. We're talking about a national cycle, it says, a business boon or a period of personal abundance. Peak periods can be brief, so it is important to bale your hay while the sun is shining. So I think, this great abundance that's coming, you want to look at making the most of this time that's coming. So you have time to prepare. It's around the corner. Look for ways that you can bolster the success that's coming, the abundance, the windfall, so that you can use the resources well, so that you can store them, so that you can support them as well as you can to make them sustainable and to last longer. So there could be scarcity again in the future. You want to make sure you put a little bit aside. And you want to make sure that you're with all of and wealth is health, right? With all the goodness that's coming in, make sure that you're putting that towards systems in your home, or maybe you're replenishing your nutrition, or getting those supplements that you've been putting off because you didn't think about at the time. But while you're in preparation for this great abundance to come, think about putting that back into things that are going to be long-term sustainable for you and very nurturing. Um,
Hmm.
so it's really, this reading is boding very well for raising families, nurturing your children, your close-knit group, and certainly business boons. And it alludes again. I'm hearing a lot about national cycles, international cycles. So as we look at yin and yang and the different times of day, and even that too, when you're going to have more insight into what's going on if you're paying attention to all the what during times of light, you can see everything more clearly.
Right,
So really, make note if you learn something was a catapult into your period of great abundance, make a note of it, journal it, add it to this so you can look for ways to repeat and to amplify that for the future. So I'm
right.
excited.
I am too. I love that. Another thing you can do if you're not a big journaler, because I can't, I'm not a good journaler because I forget as I'm like, I can't write fast enough for my brain. So I forget half the stuff. So I usually do voice memos. Just as a
Oh,
side note, that's a great way to journal because you can download them, you can keep them on your phone, you can put them in a file on your computer or whatever. But it's just nice to have those. They're totally organic, and you go back and listen to them, and you're like, wow, I was really like struggling that day. Like it really gives you some perspective. And also, usually, it's a big mood booster because you realize how much you have grown and how far you've come.
yeah, I mean, as we talk about personal reflection and going within, and that's so hard sometimes to listen to those you know, past versions of yourself. But that's a great way. I've gotten your voice memos before and they're so good.
I've
Like
gotten your voice memos before.
there's
Yeah.
no way you could like write um, all that out and get the same affection in, the emotion, what you're experiencing. I think that's a good tip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love
What is your energy for the future? Add to
it.
that layer.
So it's small influences, and it says a gentle wind gathers clouds, but still there is no rain. Softer influences predominate as the power of smaller forces accumulates, making this a time for smooth and friendly persuasion. The ebb and flow of events are like waves in the sea, and there are periods of low tide. Isn't this great?
Yeah.
At present, more sweeping actions are impossible or inappropriate, but small matters ultimately lead to bigger and better things when attended to with success. When the tide is rolling in, by all means, ride the waves. And when they are receding like they are now, however, focus on the little things. When you cannot do much to affect large matters, persuasion and subtle influence prepare the way for stronger moves in the future. Use your intuition to chart your long term course, but avoid bold actions as they are unlikely to work. A better time to refine existing abilities or develop new talents. So, gentleness is the key word here regarding whatever is on your mind right now. Gentleness, combined with determination, is likely to generate more progress than brute force ever could.
Ooh, I got
Ooh, I got
chills.
goose. I got goosebumps
Yeah,
too.
I did too, but that's exactly what we were talking about is sometimes we feel like we need to have grand gestures, like if there's a goal that or a desire that you have and it just seems so unattainable, you think if you're not doing something big enough, you're not going to get there. But it's the little small habits that we create or even just doing one thing in the direction that
Mm-hmm.
you're headed can get you
Or
there.
if we're
That's
talking about like the world situation right now, like there's nothing I can do to stop Israel from, you know, invading Hamas or Russia or Ukraine, or
Mhm.
I can't stop any of those people doing anything.
Yeah,
I can't stop Hamas from anyway. What I can do is make things better here. You know
right.
what I mean? I can I can improve my own situation, which will improve people around me. And who knows, maybe somebody that I've touched in a small way here will go on and do something huge someday. You just never know what your role in the situation is.
Yeah, goes back to that whole like ripple effect. Um,
Yeah.
the,
So
the small things matter.
if you're watching and you're like me and you often like just see the hard part of things or like the difficult side of things and are easily discouraged because you think, well, I'm only one person. What can I do? I mean, you can't really do much because you're only one person. You can do what you can do. And if you don't do what you can do, then you do nothing and then nothing ever changes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing where I was talking about with Emily in the podcast yesterday too. We were talking about the opposite of love is really, apathy or void. It's not like hate, it's just
Mm-mm.
nothing.
Yeah.
And that's like, as we talk in feng shui, we're always talking about trying to avoid stagnant energy and that stuck feeling that we have. But there's nothing worse than having apathy or just total, um, detachment can be a good thing, but I
Right.
would say like
Apathy is different
apathy
than
is different.
attachment.
It's more of like a sucking void.
Mhm. Yes, because you just don't care one way or the other. Like
Yeah, right.
it's worse. I feel like apathy is almost worse than hating. Like feeling apathetic about someone, I think is worse than hating them because like you don't care at all about.
Yeah, there's no intention in apathy. It's just like blank.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
think that's like, gosh, weren't we talking the other day on our call about like, whenever I talk to you, I always think of the never ending story.
I know. You do. I'm gonna have to watch that movie again. I haven't seen it
I
in
don't
like
know.
years or
It's
something.
just like magical and involves
Yep.
like imagination, but like it talks about like the great void, right? And it just
Yep.
like sucks up all the, joy and imagination and all of that. Like that's worse than in, almost like the forces, I think from what I remember, the forces of like love and hate were even became friends in that instant because the void
Yes.
just eating everything up.
Yeah, and they
And
had to
so,
become friends
yeah.
in
So it's
order to
like,
survive. Yeah.
yeah, the yin and the yang of things, like they're together, they make that whole. But a void is just like, that black hole.
Yeah.
That's the real enemy, I think,
I think
of
you're right.
things.
I think
So
you're right.
like I think what we always Carl Jung talks a lot about it too with discussions about shadow work, but recognizing within our subconscious that darkness and not that we have to be like friends with it necessarily, but like accepting and like,
Acknowledging
listening,
it.
acknowledging it, yeah, naming it. There's a lot to that versus just cold nothingness. So
Yes.
I think without you can't transmute from a place of void.
No,
There's
because there's
no
nothing to transmute.
right. Yeah. So I don't know. I
That's
think this
deep,
was really
Lisa. That's really, really deep.
super deep, deep thoughts on on the never ending story.
Yeah.
But no, this has been good. I think this is a great, like, I hope that everybody gains something from us divining of the I Ching. And I hope that you would love to contribute to what we're cooking up on our new channel. So we will drop some links once that channel is up and living. So we'll send you over there, and we can't wait to see you over there at I Ching Mashup with Lisa and Michele. So we're, it's going to be fun. It's going to be deep. Whatever, whoever shows up, I think we'll be picking up on that, whatever the energy is of the collective,
Hmm.
to show up and support you guys so that you can, uncover this, unwrap this journey with us, and I think it'll be fun.
I mean, we're going to have fun. And that's
We're
really
fun.
what I
If we're
care
having
about.
fun. We
If we're
don't know
having
what
fun, everyone will have fun with us.
we don't know what groups we were streaming into on Facebook, but we're happy to be here on YouTube. So we look forward to hearing from you, and yeah, we'll make sure you like and share and subscribe here, and then find us over at the new channel, so you can stay in the know of all the things that are happening, and you can find out where you can connect with me and Michelle. And yeah, this has been fun. Yay, I'm so excited.
It just felt like a regular energy
This is part of our, this is what we do.
meeting.
This is how we
Yeah,
hang out together, guys.
a regular energy upgrade. I feel better already.
I do too.
I mean, I was feeling good when I sat down. I just feel even better. So
Yeah, the only time I was
thank
really
you.
having any, oh, well, thank you. The only time I was really having a tough time was with trying to stream. Um,
That
but
was frustrating.
I'm gonna keep persevering at it. I just need to take a little break and take a little retreat from it.
Take a retreat and then maybe it'll come to you.
So if you guys, in the future, we're not doing it this week, right? We're not doing your live session in your Facebook group this week, but next week, right?
Now I'm not gonna do those until June because I
With all the
have
family stuff going on.
yeah, we have a baby coming. She's on Friday. Hopefully she won't be too long in labor. Friday, and then we're leaving on the 20th to go out of town for a wedding, for my son's wedding, and we won't be back till the 1st. So I'm gonna start them after then. I'll let
Yeah,
everybody know when, but
yeah,
yeah. But there's a
yeah.
ton of videos on my New Day Feng Shui seasonal support group page. If anybody wants to check them out, Lisa's on most of them. I think all
Yes.
but one or two maybe. But but yeah, those are really good calls too. Those are really interesting. I always feel better when I'm done with those
I
too.
do too. I like the group that shows up at that. So we would love to see you inside of Michelle's group. It's closed and private, so you have to search for it, and we'll recognize you when you come in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we can add a question to your Facebook group to see where you're coming from, so we know where you found us.
Mm-hmm.
And we hope to see you there. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments and we'll get right back to you. So, all right, that's it for today. Michelle, I'm gonna say bye to our YouTube friends, and I'll keep you on the hook. And
All
then
righty. Bye, everybody.
bye. If I can figure out there.